Consciousness is not the same as awareness. What is consciousness anyway? Written and read by Bernhard Kutzler. The terms consciousness and awareness are often considered synonyms. This is linguistically wrong because these two words have different meanings. If you look for definitions of these two terms, you will only find vague descriptions that use other, equally vaguely defined terms or even circle back to themselves, and therefore either say nothing or leave a lot of room for interpretation. In the following, I explore how we make experiences. This will give you an insight into how your mind works and show you the correct use of the terms consciousness and awareness. What do you perceive at this moment? Maybe you see something. Maybe you hear something. You experience your surroundings through your outer senses, and you perceive states of your body, such as warmth, tension, or pain, through your inner senses. You have learned to regard these perceptions and therefore your body and your surroundings as real. Feelings are the same as perceptions, because the word feel comes from the Old English word felan, which means to perceive. Usually, the term perception is used for what comes from the outer senses and the word feeling for what the inner senses provide. You can find out more about feelings in my article, Feelings Are Not the Same as Emotions. What else is in you at this moment? Your thoughts. Thoughts are not real. They are imagined. So your present experience has two parts, a real and an imagined part. Perceptions or feelings are real. Thoughts are imagined. You can find out more about thoughts in my article, This is the Difference Between Humans and Animals. Look at an object. Then close your eyes and think of the object you just saw. By remembering, you create a thought, that is, an imagined image. This image can be more or less clear, more or less detailed, depending on your powers of imagination and remembering. Listen to something, for example a tune or a bird song, then think about what you just heard. The remembered sound can be more or less clear, more or less detailed, depending on your powers of imagination and remembering. When you hear something, the sound is real. When you remember what you heard, it is imagined. When you open your eyes, what you see is real. When you close your eyes and remember what you saw, it is imagined. What is the difference between real and imagined? You may say clarity, but the clarity of an imagined image depends on your powers of imagination and remembering. Both are a matter of talent and training. For example, there are people with photographic memory. Clarity is not a distinguishing feature. Have you ever seen an optical illusion? It is called an optical illusion because when you look at it, you see an imagined image, although you see with your eyes, which are supposed to provide a real image. With practice, you can learn to see the real image and switch between these two versions at will. Optical illusions show that real and imagined can merge into one another. Therefore, we unify them using the term know. The Old English word vitan means to know. It has the root vid, which means to see. Therefore, the term know can be used for any kind of seeing, for seeing something real and for seeing the imagined. And it can be generalized to all perceptions, such as hearing. Your most elementary experience is to know, and in fact, it is your only experience. Your present knowing comprises your perceptions/feelings and your thoughts. At least to a first approximation. There are two other types of knowings that we will mention later. To illustrate this, imagine that your mind has a knowing screen. This knowing screen contains what you know now. It has two windows, a perception window for the perception/feelings and a thinking window for the thoughts. At every moment, a new present knowing replaces your present knowing, which then becomes a past knowing. Imagine how each present knowing is a new top page in a book which becomes thicker from moment to moment, the book of your life. You can access past knowings by turning back the pages of the book. This is remembering. Remembering makes a past knowing a present knowing. When you remember, you look back at your history. Therefore, you know that you have a history. This experience creates the ego, the I. I is the identification with your own history. The word conscious originates from the Latin words cum, meaning with, together, and scire, meaning to know. Therefore, conscious means knowing together or knowing a togetherness. And consciousness is a knowing of a togetherness. Your life history is a togetherness of knowings, namely the collection of a lifetime of knowings. Therefore, the word consciousness can be aptly used to denote knowing of your history. The basis of consciousness is, therefore, the ability to remember. The word aware has the root were, which means to perceive. Therefore, awareness means perceiving. Awareness happens in the perception window of your knowing screen. Consciousness happens in the thinking window. Awareness is now. Consciousness includes the past. Observe yourself when you are in the here and now. For example, because you focus on an activity, you are pure awareness. Even your I, that is your identification with your history, can disappear in such a moment. Many meditations aim to bring you there. In the now, and therefore in your awareness, there are also two other types of knowings, familiarities and intuitions. I described them in my article, Intuition is much more than just a sixth sense. For a deeper understanding of your mind, read my book Consciousness, Its Nature, Purpose and How to Use It. There you will find a complete theory of mind. Imagining a knowing screen can help you become an observer of your thoughts. This is the basis for self-exploration. Here are two exercises to get you started. Exercise 1. Observe your present knowing. That is, look at your knowing screen. What is in the perception window? What is in the thinking window? Exercise 2. Practice switching focus between the perception window and the thinking window.